Hi everyone, it's Don. I hope you're having a fantastic week. Well, Vancouver's been in the news lately because they're saying they're losing out on a lot of cruise money because of one thing. What Vancouver representatives are talking about is the Lionsgate Bridge. The Lionsgate Bridge is where all the cruise lines, the ships have to go under. It's basically one of the main thoroughfares of Vancouver, and there's very little clearance for these large ships. The Royal Princess, the Joy, the Blizz, the Ovation of the Seas are all very large cruise ships, larger than any other ships that have been there in the past. The Blizz was just in Vancouver, and the clearance to go under the bridge during low tide was 5 feet. So you can't veer off to the right or the left. You have to be pretty much dead on to clear these large ships under there. And that's one of the reasons that a lot of them are sailing out of Seattle instead of sailing out of Vancouver, or at least stopping in Vancouver because of the clearance and the restrictions. And as more and more large ships become available and they start swapping out some of the smaller ships, Vancouver could eventually lose more business. They say millions and millions of dollars every year from the tourist industry. So they're looking at different options. One of the options, of course, is to tear down the bridge and make a bigger bridge. That's a very expensive proposition completely. A slightly cheaper one would be to build another port on the other side of the bridge. Of course, some of the problems with that is you're going to be out of the city core of Vancouver. You can't go near Stanley Park, which is a big open park area in that spot. So it kind of limits to where you can put it, and you don't want to be too far from the city center because then you're kind of defeating the purpose where people won't go and visit the city or the town. It's not that far, but right now literally the port is like the center of the city. It's almost dead center of all the downtown and all the things that are going on in the city, the fine dining, the great hotels, views of the ocean, the seaplanes lifting off and landing, and of course the cruise ships and everything, all the activity. It's a kind of a place you want to be, and building a new port outside of the area, that might take away from the enjoyment of people seeing the skyline and wanting to visit the city as well. So they're talking over and coming up with new ideas, and who knows what they'll come up with. But it'd be a shame if Vancouver stopped being a main port area for Alaskan cruises simply because they built the bridge too low. That wasn't a lot of foresight on their part. Of course, the bridge has been here a while, a lot longer than some of these large cruise ships. And who'd have ever thought the large cruise ships would ever be in Alaska to begin with? But with the new fuel systems like LNG, more environmentally friendly, you can probably see more and more larger and larger cruise ships. And who knows, someday you might start seeing an Oasis class ship or larger heading to Alaska, and Vancouver would probably want some of that business, but right now it can't make it under that bridge. So lots to think about for the city of Vancouver if they still want to continue in the future down the road with the cruise industry. Well, I hope you liked this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.